My dear students, how are you? You must be in the fine position. So, as per our the last discussions, we are under the chapter of the atomic physics. In that atomic physics, we came to know that the branch of that physics which deals with the study or the nature or the character of the atoms is known as the atomic physics. How that term atom being the invented or which is the realized by the human being, starting from the Democritus concept to the Bohr's model, we discussed in our the last class. And from the first idea we came to know that the atom is that element or that part which is the indivisible further. Next comes that within the atoms some charge particles are present and they are known as the electron and the positrons, or the positive charge and the negative charges are there. Then it being developed that charge electrons are to be the revolving, and next the idea came that electrons are revolving around the nucleus after the Rutherford's alpha ray scattering model. And we are under the discussions of the Bohr's postulates. In that Bohr's postulates or the assumptions, we came to know about the 3 points. The first one is the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a particular orbit which is known as the stationary or the permitted orbit. The second one is during the motion of the electrons, they possesses the angular momentum which is equals to the integral multiple of the h by 2 pi, for which we have written L is equals to the mvr, which is the angular momentum, or you can say that is the nearest person which is will called as the Priya. So, PR is equals to the nh by 2 pi. And here the third postulates we noted that when the electrons will jump from the higher to lower or the lower to higher, if you will say first it is higher to lower, from higher to lower it to be the emit, and from the lower to higher it to be the absorb by the certain energy, and that energy h nu is equals to E2 minus E1. Regarding that, we have taken a structural form, we have taken a atom. Inside the atom at the central portion the nucleus is there, around the nucleus the electrons are revolving. For that one the two forces are acting, one is the electrostatic force, another one is the centripetal force. The centripetal force we have taken symbolically as the Fc, and the electrostatic force as the Fe, and though the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a particular orbit, means that orbit is always remaining here the same shape, therefore that two forces must be in the equilibrium, and we discussed that if they are not in the equilibrium the shape will not be remain same. So, that two forces when we equalize, then we will obtain the value of here the R. And can you remember, or now you guess in your the own position what is that value of the R that we had derived in our the last class. Let us now take that expression first, then we will go to calculate what is the energy that we will possess. So, the radius R as we have derived, that is n square h square by 4 pi square k z m e square. This we have derived. So, this shows that n h pi k m e, that all are your the constants, means if the z means your the atomic number of the elements being your the varied, according to that radius being your the changing. And we also derived the equation half m v square is equals to k z e square by your the r, and here the v value we have substituted, v is equals to your the nh by 2 pi mr is equals to your the kz e square by your the r. So, this whole square. So, by using this expression we derived the value of your the r. Similarly, you can find the value of your the v also, because half m v square is equals to your the kz e square by your the r implies your v square is equals to your the 2k z e square by your the mr, and put the value of the r, then you will obtain the value of the v square, then you will find the value of the v. So, up to that we discussed on our last class. So, if this is your the nucleus, the electrons are revolving around it. This is your the speed of an electron, this is your the nucleus of your the ZD. Then you will confirm that this ZD means the nucleus, it consists of the proton and your the neutron. But the neutron is the neutral, so here the net charge that of your the proton, and this is the proton, this is the electron. Suppose in your the atom, the number of the electrons are more than that of the proton, may be possible. Number of electrons may be less than that of the proton, it may be possible. And if both to be the same, if the both to be the same, then overall the atom will be the positive in your the nature. If you will make the note on your the screen, you will find that if the electrons are revolving, then it is clear that if the same number of the protons and the electrons are there, then the atom has your the no charge, the first point. In the second point, if the number of protons is more than that of your the electrons, then your the positive ions will be remain in your the atom. And the third one is, if the more electrons are your the there than that of the proton, then the negative ions will be the formed on your the atom. Therefore, the motion of your the electrons will make them to be your the travel from one position to your the another position. Therefore, it must have its the energy. So now we are going to calculate the second one is derivation of energy of an electron. Derivation of energy of an electron. So if this electron is in the motion, it must have its the energy. So what is the definition of the energy? Energy is nothing but the ability of doing work. What amount of the work it being your the formed, that amount of the work will constitute your the energy. And if that energy is your the E, for your the nth orbit we have taken, means if this is the orbit we have shown in our figure, this may be it's the first orbit or the second or the third or the fourth. If you will take that is the nth, then that nth orbit it is the sum of your the kinetic energy and the potential energy. So sum of your the kinetic energy and your the potential energy. For the kinetic, that is the K, energy is the E, potential for the P, energy is your the E. So Ek plus of the Ep. So what is your the Ek? That is the kinetic energy. So what is the definition of the kinetic energy? That we know from your the school level. The kinetic energy means the amount of energy possesses by an electron, because due to the electron we are finding, due to an electron. So possesses by an electron during its motion, but you never have your the sun, but you are saying that during the motion means my sun. So during the motion, that is your the kinetic energy. So mathematically that Ek is equals to your the half mv square. So this half mv square we have written, that is equals to your the kz e square by your the r. So that is equals to half mv square is equals to your the kz e square by your the r. That is your the kinetic energy. Next comes your the potential energy. Next one is your the potential energy. So potential energy, for energy E, potential is the P, potential energy. What is the potential energy, you know? Then the same way, the amount of energy possesses by an electron during its, instead of the motion, that is your the position. Instead of the motion, that is your the position. So what will be its mathematical form? So Ep is equals to your the energy. I said earlier, energy is nothing but the ability of doing work. So work is equals to your the Fs. Here F is equals to K Q1 Q2 by your the R square, then R S is your the distance. What the distance we have taken here? That distance is the R. So into of your the R. So that is equals to your the K Q1. If this is one charge, this is your the another charge. As we discussed today, this is due to your the nucleus. Nucleus is the positive in nature. Therefore, that charge is equals to your the Jd. Then Q2 is the next charge. Next charge is the electron. Electron is the negative in nature. So that is equals to your the minus E by your the R square into your the R. That is equals to minus Kz E square by your the R. So Ep is equals to minus Kz E square by your the R. So if that is equals to Kz E square by your the R, that is the potential energy, this is the kinetic energy, we are interested for your the total energy. So that total energy will be, half mv square by R, kinetic energy mv square by R. Then the potential energy will be your the this is equals to half mv square is equals to Kz E square by R, and this that is equals to your the minus half of Kz E square by R. So that is equals to mv square. Mv square is equals to Kz E square by R minus mv square by R minus half m Kz E square by R. So that is equals to Kz minus half Kz E square by R plus of the half Kz E square by your the R. So if we make it to the total one form, means your kinetic energy is equals to Ek plus Ep. Ek is equals to your the half Kz E square by R, and Ep is equals to your the minus Kz E square by your the R. That is equals to minus half Kz E square by your the R. So this is equals to your the En. En means nth of your the energy. En is equals to your the this much. If energy is equals to your the this much, then we have to go for its the first orbit and for your the second orbital value. That is equals to minus half Kz E square by R. R is equals to how much? That is equals to n square h square by 4 pi. Then it is into 4 pi square Kz m E square. So this is equals to 4 with the 2 is the cancel. Then that is equals to the minus 2 pi square K square Z square m E fourth by n square h square. En is equals to, you see, this is the minus 4 with the 2 cancel the 2, then Kz E square, then Kz E square, they to be multiplied. So K square Z square E square into E square is equals to E fourth, m is your the m, n square by your the s square. So this is equals to your the En. So En is equals to minus 2 pi square K square Z square m E fourth by your the n square s square. So if this is equals to En, then how this En is related with your the orbital number? That related with your the n square with its the negative sign. So En is proportional to minus 1 by n square, means what it indicates? As the n is the orbital number. As the orbital number will increase, what you will say about your the En? You will say that En will gradually decrease, because you will say that it is inversely related. Yes students, it is inversely related, but you see there is a negative sign. If the negative sign with inversely related, if there is no negative sign, if n to be or the increase means E to be or the decrease. But if there is a negative sign, if n to be or the increase means the E to be or the increase also. Means for example, if here the n is equals to the 1, then this E1 is proportional to your the minus 1. If you will take this n is equals to the 2, n is equals to 2, then 1 by 2 square, 1 by 2 square is equals to the 1 by 4. 1 by 4 means that is equals to minus 0.25. So, out of the minus 1 and minus 0.25, which one will be the more? Minus 0.25 will be the more. So, this shows that the energy is inversely proportional with the square of the orbital number with a negative sign, means as the orbital number will increase, the energy to be your the increase, because minus 3 is your the less than that of your the minus 2, or the minus 2 is less than of the minus 3. Just you guess, according to that En to be your the increase or the decrease. As we know that En is proportional minus of the 1 by n square. So, if you will take for your the one orbit, what will you see the energy, and for the next orbit, what will you see the energy. Therefore, if you will take for your the En1, means your the first energy level, that is your the n1, E1, then that is equals to your the minus 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by your formula was n square h square. For the first one, we can say that is equals to your the n1. Similarly, for the next one, E2 is equals to minus 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by n2 square h square. So, according to postulates, according to Bohr's atomic postulates, that you can say h nu is equals to your the E2 minus of the E1, that we have written in the postulates. H nu is equals to E2 minus of the E1. So, according to this, E2 is equals to minus 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by n2 square h square minus of E1. E1 is your the negative, negative with the negative, that will your the positive. So, that will the plus of your the 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by n1 square h square. So, if you taken the common 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by your the h square taken common. So, here it is remain minus 1 by n2 square, here it is the plus 1 by n1 square. So, first we have written the plus sign 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So, this is equals to your the h nu. So, h nu is equals to this one, means this h nu is nothing but your the energy. So, our aim was derivation of the energy of an electron. So, energy of an electron while it is going from your the one orbit to your the second orbit is your the this one, and also the energy in your the any orbit is equals to minus 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by your the n square h square. So, this is your the minus. This is the energy of your the any orbit, and this is the change of the energy from one orbit to your the another orbit, that is your the h nu is equals to this one. By taking the factor of your the h nu, we can also further derive the value of its the wavelength, wave number, and the frequency. These are come in your as your the 5 marks questions. So, next one is derivation of frequency, derivation of the frequency. You see h nu is equals to this one. What is your the nu, what is your the h? H is the Planck's constant, nu is your the frequency. And if the question comes for your the frequency, then for that frequency nu will be your the 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by your the h q of 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So if this is equals to the value, you see how this h cube in your the came, sir, this is the h square, this was the h square when this is the h nu. But if you are interesting for your the nu, so nu is equals to your the, this h will come to your the denominator, therefore this becomes your the h cube. This is your the derivation of the frequency. Similarly, next one, derivation of wave number by wavelength. First derivation of the wavelength, that is equals to your the lambda. Similarly, from this expression, h nu is equals to your the c by lambda is equals to 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by n square h square or h square of 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So this implies your nu, you are interested for your the lambda, means 1 by lambda is equals to 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by this ch we left, this ch will come to this side, so that is equals to chq of 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. This is equals to the 1 by lambda. But the derivation for its the wavelength, if 1 by lambda is equals to this much, means this is equals to 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by chq. If we take the LCM here, n1 square n2 square, this is n2 square minus n1 square. So this is equals to 1 by lambda is equals to this one. If we are interested for your the lambda, derivation of the wavelength means lambda, it to be your the reverse, means it to be your the reverse. Then what will happen? This is equals to chq by 2 pi square k square z square me fourth of n1 square n2 square by n2 square minus n1 square. This is your the expression for your the wavelength. Next one will be your the derivation for your the wave number. Derivation of wave number. So what do you mean by the wave number, students? In your the wave chapter for the 11th class, you know the wave number means the reciprocal of the wavelength is your the wave number. The reciprocal of, are you taking the note, students? The reciprocal of wavelength is wave number. So reciprocal of wavelength means 1 by lambda. It is equals to your the wave number, and that will be represented by your the nu bar or your the lambda bar, whatever may be the symbol you will write, that is equals to your the 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by your the chq of 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. These are the derivations for your the different terms. So the question will come in your the different way. By using the energy of your the any orbit, derive the expression for your the wave number, or the derive the expression for the frequency, or derive the expression for your the wavelength. These are the questions according to the revised syllabus, for which the long question is your the only 5 marks, not your the 7 marks. The earlier year it was your the 7 mark, and as decided by the government, for the further also it will your the 7, but for this year the long question is the 5 mark. So this is your the wave number expression. You see this 2 pi k z m e c h, all these are the constants, and that constants is taken as your the Rydberg constant. This constant was derived by your the scientist whose name was the Rydberg. So Rydberg constant is into 1 by n1 square of your the minus 1 by n2 square. And this Rydberg constant for your the hydrogen if will taken, then this z value you will taken as the 1, and that value of the r at that case is equals to 1.09678 into of here the 10 to the power of 5 of 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. This much of here the meter inverse, that is equals to here the nu bar you can take. That is your the Rydberg constant value. So this nu bar is equals to this one, and depending upon this wave number, the energy radiations is going on from one orbit to your the second orbit. So when the energy radiations will go from the one orbit to the second orbit, it obtained that they are going in the form of your the lines. And when the energies are going in the form of the lines from one orbit to the another orbits, corresponding for a stationary one, for the different orbits the energy are the different. Suppose it is coming from your the fifth orbit to your the first orbit, then fourth orbit to your the first orbit, from third orbit to the first orbit, then you just guess what we discussed. In the fifth orbit, what is the energy value, and in the first orbit, what is the energy value? They are not same. From the fourth to your the first, the fourth one energy level and the fifth one energy level is not your the same. So while the electrons are coming either from your the 5 to 1 or it is going from your the 1 to 5, then that energy values are not your the same, and that energies are nothing but your the electromagnetic waves in the form. Therefore we have taken the energy E is equals to your the h nu form we have taken. So this is in the form of the photons. The photons are in the electromagnetic waves. Therefore the energy transmission which is going on from one orbit to the another orbit, they are of your the different spectral lines. So what is your the spectral? As per in the discussion of the dispersion, we discussed that the line of the pattern of the colors which is obtained, that is your the spectral. So here also when the electrons are coming from one orbit to the another orbits, they are of your the different values. Therefore they have or they will produce the spectral lines, and that spectral lines which is derived for your the hydrogen, that is your the hydrogen spectra. That is your the hydrogen spectra. So spectra and the spectrum. Spectrum is the singular, spectra is the plural. Here the different lines, therefore it is the hydrogen spectra. So my dear students, up to this we came to know that what is the expression of here the energy and expression of the wavelength, wave number of an electron. Then we will discuss what will happen for the hydrogen spectra. As we discussed that for your the hydrogen, the Bohr has given the expression for its the frequency, wavelength and your the wave number. The wave number of your the different spectral lines can be calculated by the corresponding values of your the n1 and your the n2. As per the formula, we know that the nu bar is equals to your the r of 1 by n1 square minus of the 1 by n2 square. But how these spectral lines being your the formed? When the current will pass through a discharge tube at your the low pressure, then your the atoms to be your the hydrogen molecules are to be divided into your the hydrogen atoms. So if we look for your the screen, it is clearly shown that if your the H2 is your the molecular form and which is present in your the highly electrical discharge tube of low pressure, then it to be your the in the form of your the hydrogen atom. Means your H2, the H2 for your the discharge tube at a low pressure will give you the 2 hydrogen atoms. So during this process, the energy transmissions is going on from your the one level to your the another level. By taking your the different energy transmissions, that spectra of your the hydrogen is of your the different types, and that different types are discovered by your the different portions. And the first portion was given, that was your the Lyman series. That was your the Lyman series. So series means what? You know that series means when a continuation is going on, that is your the series we are saying. Suppose you will say that the cricket series there, or the football series there, or in the Doordarshan you will shown that the serials. So all the serials or the series means that's continuity to be the maintained. So when the electrons are going from one orbit to the another orbit, the different continuations are your the continuing, and first continuation was given by your the Lehman. So according to your the Lehman, he said that the energy transmission which is going on from higher orbit to the lower orbit with what I will write. You see the energy transmission which is going on. Suppose this is your the nucleus, and this is your the one orbit, this is your the another orbit, this is your the another orbit. Suppose the energy transmission will go from any orbit to any one. Suppose this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Suppose the different orbits are there. Either from 7 to your the first, or 6 to your the first, from 5 to your the first, then that energy values are not your the same. Therefore, their energy positions are different. Therefore, they are of the different lines. So that lines was given by your the Lehman by taking with the lower orbit with n1 is equals to your the 1. Means the energy transmission will go only to your the first orbit starting from your the other orbits, that is known as the Lehman series. So mathematically that nu bar is equals to RH for the hydrogen we are considering into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, means here n1 is equals to your the 1 and your n2, as I said n2 will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So n2 is equals to your the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dash dash dash. And that type of energy transmission is known as your the Lehman series. That is your the first case. For the Lehman series, in your the screen you will find that the Lehman series your the, this one is your the Lehman series. That means on your the screen you are finding, on your the red lines you are observing that the energy transmissions are coming from your the higher orbit towards the lower orbit. You see there is a arrow mark. The arrow mark indicates that the energy is coming towards that direction. You see all the arrow marks are ended on your the line, that is your the first orbital number n is equals to 1, and that starting points are from your the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to your the infinite number of the orbits, and that the different series of the lines you are observing. That series of the lines means they are corresponding for your the light, and the lights are within a certain region, that is your the ultraviolet region. So the question will come, sir, what is the ultraviolet region? In my one class I said that the light motion which is the electromagnetic in nature, they are going on into the different wavelengths, and there is a certain level that is called your the visible range. That visible range are your the Vip Geyer, and that's your wavelength from 3800 to your the 7600 of your the Armstrongs. And this visible means this is the Vip, this is your the R, Vip Geyer. So that Vip Geyer in my short form I said that is your the VR means your the visible range, and that visible region means beyond your the R the some range are there, here also the some range, and on the left of the violet that is your the ultraviolet, from the right of the red that is your the infrared, then your the microwave, then your the radio wave, These are its the different wavelengths. Similarly, before ultraviolet, one is your the X-ray, then is your the gamma ray. So these are its the range. So the Lyman series, what the wave number they will provide, that is your the ultraviolet region 1. So that is your the Lyman series. The second one is your the what? Are you in confusion? I have written Balmer, not that is the Balmer, that is the Balmer series. And for this Balmer series, the same definition it will satisfy. That is means the energy transmission which is going on from higher orbit to the lower orbit with N1 will be your the 2. Here N1 will be your the 2. Here N1 will be the 2. I will not write the all definitions, all are corresponding for the same one. It is that series of energy transmission which is going on from higher orbit to the lower orbit with N1 is equals to the 2. So therefore, your the lambda bar will be, just you say RH, I am not hearing, but you say yourself, RH of 1 by N1 square. N1 will be your the here 2. N1 is the 2. So 1 by your the 2 square. You see, sir, there is no square. Why, sir? Because it is the formula that is the N1 square, sir. Because though this is the 1 square itself is the 1, therefore either you write the 1 square or you will simply write 1, there is no wrong. But here, though N1 is equals to 2, so though we have written as the 1, if we simply write it is the 2, it becomes your the 1 by 2. But that value is not 1 by 2, that is the 1 by 4. So this is the 1 by 2 square minus 1 by N2 square. So when N1 is equals to 1, N2 is equals to 2, 3, 4. When N1 is equals to 2, then what will be the N2? 3, 4, 5, etc. This is your the Lyman series and your the Balmer series. Let us see it in your the figure form. You see that is your the Balmer series. In this series, the electrons will fall back to your the n is equals to your the 2. But in our formula, we have taken that n is your the n1. So that is the n1 is equals to your the 2. So that nu bar is equals to your the RH of your the that one. RH value is equals to 1.09678 10 to the power of 7 of your the 1 by N2 square minus 1 by N1 square. Next your the Balmer series, and that Balmer series which it will provide, you see that is written as your the visible region. That is the visible region, as I have seen you. This is your the visible region. VR I said visible region. Which one is the visible region? Where the VIP Geyer, that means the natural lights we are the observing. That is your the visible region. And this visible region, this is the ultra visible region. They are not the same. So in the diagram also I clear that for one I have taken is the red line. For the next one I have taken it is your the green line. You see there is the green line symbol. So that is your the Balmer series. Next one will be the third series will go, that is your the Paschen series. Paschen series. This is also one of your the expected long question for your the hydrogen spectra, because there are the 5 series you will write, and for each series there will the 1 mark. So 5 series will carry your the 5 marks. So what will the Paschen series? The same definition. It is that series of the energy transmission which is going on from higher orbit to the lower orbit, then with N1 is equals to your the 3, means it will comes to your the third orbit. So if N1 is equals to 3, then what will the value of the N2? The next numbers means your the 4, 5, 6 dash dash dash. So what will you see the mathematical form? The same way, nu bar is equals to RH of the Rydberg constant of the hydrogen, RH of 1 by N1 square, N1 is the 3, so 1 by 3 square minus 1 by N2 square, where N2 is equals to 4, 5, 6 you will write. So if we will go for it, see the diagrammatic representation on your the screen for your the easy making your the note, you see this is your the Paschen series, and here also that series of the lines which you are looking, it is of your the another color, means they are not of your the all to be your the same wavelength, therefore their colors are your the varying, that is your the Paschen series. You see according to that one what is the formula and the different values being your the written. Next comes your the bracket series, the fourth one, this is your the third one, then the fourth one is your the bracket series. So can you guess, after taking your the three series in the same sequence they are maintained, means for the first one n1 is equals to 1, for the second n2 is equal n1 is equals to 2, for the third one n1 is equals to 3. So though this is the fourth one, means n1 is equals to 4, then what will be the definition? In the same way, it is that series of the energy transmission which is going on from higher orbit to the lower orbit with have you written, with n1 is equals to the 4. If n1 is equals to 4, then what will be the n2? 5, 6, 7, dash, dash, dash. Then what will be the mathematical form? Nu bar is equals to your the RH of 1 by 4 square minus 1 by n2 square, where n2 is equals to your the 5, 6, 7, dash, 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 it will continue. And what is the value of the RH? Suppose you will write then 1.09678. Just remember 1.09, remember, then you have the serial number 678 into 10 to the power of 7 of this much is your the m to the power of minus 1. Question will come, sir, why it is the m to the power of minus 1? There is no reverse, inverse sign is there. You see nu bar is equals to wave number. We have written wave number is nothing but a reciprocal of the wavelength. Wave means disturbance, length means your the a distance. So distance is always measured in the meter. So though it is the 1 by of your the length, its reverse one will be your the meter inverse. This is your the bracket series. Next we will go for your the fifth one, which is your the P-Fond series. Fifth one is your the P-Fond series. On the same way, just I erase it. The same way means on your note you must have. It is that series of energy transmission which is going on from a higher orbit to the lower orbit with n1 is equals to 5 and n2 is equals to your the 6, 7, 8, it will continue. Means your the nu bar is equals to your the RH of 1 by 5 square minus 1 by n2 square. Sir, why you have not writing the n2 is equals to either 6 or 7, but it is not a definite one, because I said it is a series. Series means not a single one. The number of lines are coming. Therefore, that numbers may be the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Therefore, we are writing this n2 is equals to this much. So this is your the P-Fond series. So for the P-Fond series, if we go for your the diagrammatical form, you see this is for your the bracket series, next is your the P-Fond series. So these are the 5 series of the energy transmissions is obtained from the hydrogen atom. So we came to know about your the 5 series of your the hydrogen spectra. So if that 5 series, instead of taking their figures in the separately, let us now combine them. So that combined, if you will not mention in your the answer script for your the long question, it may deduct your the some marks. So if you will take the hydrogen spectral series, means this is your the one orbit, this is your the second one, this is your the third one, this is your the fourth one, this is your the fifth one, this is your the sixth one, this is your the seventh one. Okay, this is your the nucleus. So this nucleus around which the electrons are your the revolving. electrons, the electrons are revolving. This is your the n is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, the energy transmissions will takes place from your the higher orbit to your the lower orbit. So, this is the n is equals to your the 1 means from higher to your the lower, 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 from higher to your the lower. So, all are coming to your the n1 is equals to your the 1. So, this one is known as your the Lyman series. This is your the Lyman series. This is your the energy transmissions which is going on from your the one orbit to your the another orbits. This is the Lyman series. For your the second one, that is your the Balmer series. For the Balmer series, it will come for the n is equals to 2. Means for the n is equals to 2 means from 3 to 2, from 4 to 2, from 5 to 2, likewise it will be continue. It will be the continue. This is your the another series as we have seen. So, this is the Lyman means this is your the Balmer series. Then for your the n is equals to 3, you see this is your the third orbit. For the third orbit means from the fourth orbit to your the third orbit, from the fifth orbit to the third orbit, from the sixth orbit to the third orbit, from the seventh orbit to your the third orbit. These are all your the third orbits. So, this is your the Lyman, Balmer and your the Paschen. Then the fourth one is your the bracket, fifth one is your the p-fund. For the fourth one means this is your the fourth orbit. So, for the fourth orbit, it will come from your the fifth orbit, then from your the sixth orbit, from your the seventh orbit. So, this is your the bracket one, B-R-A-K-E-T. Next, for your the n is equals to your the 5. You see this is your the fifth orbit. So, for the fifth orbit means it will come from your the sixth orbit, it will come from the seventh orbit, if the eighth orbit it will come, if the ninth orbit it will come, and this is your the p-fund one. This is your the p-fund series. So, this is your the energy spectra of your the hydrogen atom which is one type of the long question for your the council examination as well as for your the CBSE examinations also. So, this is your the hydrogen spectra. Next, we will go for your the energy level diagram. Next, we will consider energy level diagram. So, energy level diagram, you see this is of your the different energy levels. Therefore, different energy levels will represent in your the different energy level diagrams as you are looking in your the diagram that this is your the energy level diagram, this is not your the hydrogen spectra one, this is the energy level diagram. So, how that energy level diagram being your the derived, you know En is equals to minus 2 pi square k square z square me fourth by CHQ me fourth by your the n square s square. This thing we know. So, that this is equals to En. So, for hydrogen Z is equals to the 1. Suppose we will go for in MKS, you take the different values of the data in your the MKS. 2 is a constant, pi data you know 3.14, K is equals to your the 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton into meter square by your the Coulomb square, Z is equals to your the 1, M is equals to your the mass. Whose mass? That of the electron. What is the mass of the electron? 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg. That is the mass, not I am saying the charge of the electron. Electron charge is 1.6 10 to the power minus 19 you know, but this is your the M, that is 9.1, that is the 1.9. Then it is your the E is the charge of electron, that is your the 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 of your the Coulomb. Then comes your the N is the orbital number and H is the Planck's constant. That Planck's constant is 6.67 into, say what is its value, 10 to the power of minus 34 of your the joule second. Sir, how you have written it is a joule second? You see, we have taken E is equals to your the h nu. H means your the E by your the nu. E is equals to your the energy. Nu means your the frequency. Frequency unit is your the 1 by second. So nu is equals to the 1 by second. This second is gone up. Then remain here the E. E is equals to the energy. Energy is your the joule. This S will go there. Therefore, this is the joule second. So this is the value. If we put all these values here, means minus 2, pi is equals to 3.14 square, k is equals to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 to the power of 2, then here the z is equals to 1, then comes here the m 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31, that's to the power of m, then E is equals to here the 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 to the power of 4 whole divided by n square h square, n square will remain, h is equals to here the 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 34 of here the power 2. So if you will arrange them all the values and make the calculation, that is the minus 21.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 divided by your the n square of here the, what is all the values are given in the m case, means this is the joule. But the energy levels of the atomic states that are not in the joule, that is in the electron volt, and you know 1 eV is equals to the 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. Therefore, if the joule to be converted into the eV, that is equals to minus 21.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 by n square into joule. Joule is equals to here the 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19, means that is equal to 1 by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. You see 1 joule is equals to 1 by of the eV. So this much of your the eV. 10 to the power minus 19, 10 to the power minus 19 is cancelled, and this will give you the minus 13.6 eV by your the n square. So if you take the different values of the n, so this is your the energy of the nth one. If we take n is equals to 1, then E1 will be the minus 13.6 eV. If we take 2, that is equals to minus 3.14 eV. If we take n is equals to the 3, by taking these values you will find this one, minus 1.51 eV. Then for the E4 is equals to minus 0.85 eV. Then for your the fifth one is equals to minus 0.54 eV. Then for your the sixth one E6 is equals to minus 0.36 eV. Then for the E7 is equals to minus 0.27 eV. These are the different values you will get, and if you plot it in your the energy level diagram as per your the screen, suppose this is your the minus 13.6 eV and this is your the 0 eV. So from 0 eV to the energy transmission is going on, means from here it will come here, from 1 it will come here. So from the different energy level values you will get, that is the minus 13.6, minus 3.14, this is your the 0. So means from this to this, 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 from this to this. This is your the Lyman series as per your the diagram. Similarly for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as the diagram is shown, according to that you can draw. So this is your the energy level diagram. It is one type of the long question. So with this we completed the total task which is covered in your the syllabus for your the atomic physics. Thank you.